Warning, the stunts and illusions performed on this program were designed and tested by Criss, a highly trained professional. These demonstrations are extremely dangerous and should not be attempted by anyone, anywhere, at any time.
To be buried alive, it's the ultimate nightmare. I'm about to do what even Houdini could not. Escape death.
Houdini was the first to really come up with this idea to be buried alive and tried to do this demonstration but was unsuccessful. He had to be pulled out of the earth because the weight of it was too great.
I'll have my legs and wrists shackled. I'll be sealed in a coffin and buried 6 feet under. I have to escape the shackles inside the coffin, then free myself and dig my way out to escape death. We're gonna actually have a POV camera in there so people at home can experience what it feels like to actually be buried alive. Who better to witness me being buried alive than the master of macabre, Rob Zombie.
So here's the man himself, Rob Zombie, his new CD, Past, Present, and Future.
Rob Zombie's newest movie is called The Devil's Rejects. It opens in the summer of this year. And much of the shooting of that movie took place at the same location where we buried Criss alive.
Well, first off, Rob, I want to thank you very much for participating in this series. You deal with the surreal and fantasy and stuff like that. It would be awesome to come here where you shot the movie in the same location, actually do something that's completely real.
I'm here to prove it's not phony.
Right.
Because if I see anything phony, I'm going to scream it out. Just
good.
So you know. Look, he's not even in the coffin. He's standing over there at the craft service table.
Exactly.
What could go wrong? The coffin could be crushed. What have you done to prepare? Have you done it before? Well, say you get in there and you freak out. How long does it take just to get you out if you're screaming, "Get me out"?
I don't know. This would be a good point to actually show you the reality of what we're going to try to do right now.
This is where the laughter stops.
A young man named the amazing Joe Barros, a San Francisco area escape artist, attempted and buried alive.
Well, to me, that's what an escape artist exactly is.
Was he known?
He's just a local guy trying to get some publicity for himself. You know, he's using a box that, you know...
It's like he made it himself or something.
Yeah,
it's pretty sketchy.
How you would expect that to endure the weight of cement.
It doesn't even look like it would endure the weight of someone sitting on it.
He used a plastic coffin, actually lucite. He was buried, concrete added. Concrete sunk down at one point, and they realized that was the coffin collapsing.
We're standing in the back watching what's going on, and it's hard to tell where the theatrics stop until you really realize there's some big problems going on.
They dug out to him, got to him in 4.5 or 5 minutes, but he was already gone at that point.
The reality of the moment, the time has come to actually see if my theory of this infamous demonstration is true or not. There's only 2 ways that it's going to end. 1, by my own will, or 2, in a body bag.
My worry is at times that perhaps Criss thinks he has no limitations, and that fearlessness that he has could get him in trouble.
This is a coffin that we picked out. Just the only thing that we had change was the top so that we were able to show people the perspective. I really am possessed with pushing my own envelope. I'm gonna push it too far one day. Hopefully it won't be a situation where I die because of it.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to be chaining and handcuffing Criss with peerless regulation handcuffs and leg irons. He's going to be put into a coffin. He's going to be lowered 9 feet into the ground, so there's 6 feet of dirt on top of him. He's going to have to get out of the manacles. He's going to have to break the plexiglass. He's going to have to start digging his way to the surface. And he can't dig straight up because the ground will collapse in on him. So he's got to dig from side to side and worm his way up to the top and try to get out.
So if you succeed, you're number one.
If something goes wrong, he's definitely dead.
All right, let's do this.
Everybody looks pretty grim.
Yeah.
Criss, he told me he prepared, and I just hope and pray that they didn't overlook anything that, God forbid, something could go wrong. I don't sleep the night before. I have knots in my stomach. Honestly, I don't know how much more a person can be expected to take. And how many people ever have to look at their loved one in a coffin unless they really are dead?
I love you.
I love you too. Just come back. It's not an image that is something that you want to see, ever. I didn't know that Criss said that he would want to stay in that coffin if he died. And I guess I'm supposed to respect that wish, but there's no way I'm leaving him in there. That's not going to be his final resting place.
Enter my mind.
Some people believe that a shadow is merely the absence of light. I believe it's part of one's soul. Ladies, come this way, please.
As part of an earlier experiment, I converted a theater at the Aladdin into a shadow stage and invited a couple of hotel guests to participate.
You are?
Melissa?
Pleasure to meet you. Have we ever met before?
I don't think so.
Have a seat right over here. And you are?
Kathy.
Kathy, pleasure to meet you.
Nice
Have
to
a
meet
seat
you.
right to my right. Going to try a little experiment with both of your minds. Melissa, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. When you do that, I want you to be very aware of your senses, okay? When I snap my fingers, you will close your eyes. You will not open your eyes until I tell you. Perfect. Kathy, you probably noticed there's some numbers sitting right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take your finger and randomly pick one of those numbers. Very well. Watch. Melissa,
Yes.
did you feel anything?
Yes.
What did you feel?
3 taps on my back.
3 taps on your back.
Holy
Once again. What did you feel?
3 taps on my back.
Melissa, please open your eyes. Stand up. Step behind your friend Kathy. You might not understand what just happened. Look.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, how'd you do that? He was actually tapping your shadow on the wall.
On the wall.
On the
He
wall.
wasn't touching my...
Yeah, he never touched you.
It felt like right here, in between my
Well,
shoulder
he was
blades,
doing that on the...
He tapped me 3 times on my back.
No, he never
That's what I
touched you.
felt.
It was very freaky.
The performance of Buried Alive has analogies to the resurrection of Jesus. This is a miracle, if you will, but it's also of perennial interest to humans. We all have a fear of being buried alive. We all have fears.
Think of your phobia. Think of your phobia. Look inside the hat. Look inside the hat. Look inside the hat. Can I have your bag for a second? I want you right now, I want everybody to think about a phobia that they have. Take your hat and hold it up in the air like this for me, all right? Let's take it and hold it up. Let's hold it up, okay? Good. You have a fear?
Fear?
A fear, a phobia, something you're scared of. Don't tell me what it is. Oh, don't tell me what it is. All right, so you blew it. You have a fear? Yeah. Don't tell me what it is, all right? I want you to think of it, all right? Look, I have nothing. Nothing.
I'm not good at thinking.
What's your fear? What's your fear? Tell me.
Spiders. I am.
Lower your hand. Lower your hand. Everybody visualize your phobia and open up your bag. Open it up. Open it up. Who was thinking of snake? You didn't.
Wow, man.
I don't believe that happened, but it did for real.
I know what to say about him, man. I'm scared of him. I'm telling you, I'm scared of him. He's not human, but you know what he's doing.
Where is the guy? I got to give him back his hat. He's like gone.
Well, today, Chris is going to be doing Buried Alive, which is something he's not done before. Not many people have done it. The ones that have done it have not been successful.
It's the rare person who gets to actually escape from being buried. Chris's take on it is something very up-to-date and yet harks back in a timeless way to fears and miracles that have haunted mankind for generations.
Once that dirt starts falling on top of the coffin, he's going to hear a loud sound. It's going to be bang, bang, bang. But each one of those pounds can be nerve-wracking, and then it fills up, and all of a sudden, you don't hear any pounding. It's silence. But it's not just silent now. It's completely dark. And while he's in pitch black, now he's got to try to get the handcuffs and the manacles. And he's got to think about exactly where he is, where he's positioned. He's just got to focus. And if he takes his mind off that focus for 1 second, Chris won't be coming out of that hole.
No matter what I tell him, he'll say, "Mom, please don't worry, I promise you." That's his favorite words to me. "I promise you, it's okay." So no matter what he does, it's always scary.
I think the people up top, it's going to be very nerve-wracking for them. It's going to be fun and giggles in the beginning, you know, when he's lowered in the ground. Oh, it looks funny, you know, but then you'll see the mood change. About 15, 20 minutes into it, the mood's going to start changing.
It's funny to talk about it, but now that it's happening, to see that amount of dirt dumped on top of that coffin seems insane. I can't imagine how it can withstand the weight.
It's starting to rain. I don't know, John. This is not good.
I've been sealed in the coffin, lowered into the ground. Now I have to get out.
You can't bury yourself in a coffin under tons of dirt and that not being dangerous. I mean, this is one where even Houdini would not do it under the conditions that Criss is doing.
It's very soft. So there's a lot, you can see we have a lot of dirt left over because it's laid in there so lightly. If we get it too tight, So let's work on smoothing it out now, get it nice and even.
We knew that if it rained, it could be a major problem. You see, the dry dirt becomes wet, and when that happens, those little pockets of air that Chris needs to survive, well, they won't be there anymore, and we could be digging up a corpse.
It's starting to rain.
This could be a recipe for disaster.
Well, the weather reports had no rain. That's what it always says. Yeah, this is California, I know.
We were really concerned about weather conditions because the rain was going to cause the dirt to be that much more heavy. And it was going to be harder for Chris to escape. There was that much more weight that was being borne by the coffin, and that much more dense material he had to go through to get above ground.
We all knew that an overly stressed coffin could collapse and kill Chris as quickly as it killed Joe Burris.
It's really starting to puddle up over there.
No more rain, please.
A little bit worried, you know, as this rain, it starts to compact the dirt. It becomes heavier.
But that's what I was wondering, the weight factor, because, you know, you calculated for a certain amount of dirt. Now it's considerably heavier, especially in the top layer.
And it's that top layer that's pushing down on him.
I want to know when we're going to start to do something here. To be honest, you know what? This is like so long.
This is a long time. Too long.
Having Chris's mom at Buried Alive was too much. It was too much for her to handle emotionally. Watching your own son being buried, particularly after she lost her husband.
So the dirt.
I saw something.
It's just the water seeping into
It's the water, you know, we could be from where
there could have been a pocket around them.
Yeah.
There came a point in time when a number of people came to me and said, you know what, this is not going right, we had to dig him out. And we had promised Chris that we would not do that.
What's going on, John?
Well, it's taken him a lot longer to get out than we had anticipated. But, you know, the rain being an element that we hadn't expected, you know, that may have caused some problems for him. Yeah, this is like the hardest part, you know.
We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're helpless right now, and it's really...
You don't know.
EMT said they're going to give another 10 minutes, then they want us to dig him out.
The flower. I don't want this flower. Come on, please.
There you go.
Where?
Right here.
I don't see nothing.
Yeah, it's good. Move it down.
There's the Chrissy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll jump in there.
There you go.
Come on, Christopher!
Come on, Chris!
Oh my God! Come on, quick,
It had been over an hour and a half, and there were no signs of life whatsoever. And then I saw the dirt move just a little bit, and then saw his fingers poke through for the first time. And at that moment, I could tell everyone else saw it as well because there was this enormous sigh of relief that went over the crowd.
How long did it take? Well, there was a point where the fun went out of it. Don't make me watch this again.
I'm just glad it's over with.
There you go. Feed Houdini.
Yeah.